right, I'm going to try something different here. I'm using the new program here called Panopto, um, and things keep popping up on my screen, so I'm going to take care of that. There we go. Um, anyway, Panopto is this new program that the school has invested in. It's really great and allows me multiple camera views, so you can see me at my drawing board here, and you can see what I'm doing, and then there's a split screen view which shows exactly what I'm working on right here. So we're going to take a look at how to set up your Trifold brochure as a full-scale mock-up sketch. So in order to do that, I'm going to be using the side of the ruler, the architect scale, which has the 16 at one end. What that does is it divides the inches, 12 inches up into 16ths. So what it does is it's a traditional ruler in that sense. So what I'm doing here, you'll notice, is I'm placing the 0 at one end and the 12 at the other. And if it's at a slight angle across the paper, it really doesn't matter, because if I mark at 4 and again at 8, what that will do for me is divide my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which is rather difficult to measure and get equal thirds, up into equal thirds simply by dividing it across at an angle using the 12 parts. So now I have 3 equal parts. Now, what you need to do at that point, and you'll need to do this 3 times, one for each one of the mock-ups that you're going to create. What you need to do now is untape it. And what you want to do is you want to make your first fold on the second third, but make sure that you fold it back across so that it doesn't quite touch that first graphite line that you put on there with pencil when you fold it up. That way you can fold the second one over the first one and not fold the paper back on the second page. So now what you have, in essence, is your Trifold brochure. This is what it'll look like. This would be the front page. Open it up. There's the inner page, inner back page. This is the inside. This is the back. This is the center back. So then what you want to do is lay out your brochure. And to do that, you're probably going to want to use a straight edge so that you can make some nice lines of demarcation to kind of, first of all, figure out where things are going to go before you begin inking them in. And say, for instance, this is where your logo is going to go. And for instance, here, what might be an image. And you can divide or decide amongst the images that I've given you which one this might be. So you can say that's an image, and then you can say down here in the corner what image that is. And then you're going to probably want to give yourself some lines across here representing where copy is going to go. And the way you dummy up copy when you're doing a quick sketch like this is just give yourself a couple of lines and then a line on one side. Let's say, for instance, okay, I want to put another image down here, but it's not going to be a full-size image, a smaller one, like that. And we usually say, mark out an image with an X across it, like so. Same thing with this image up here. And then, maybe some more lines of copy next to that image right there, running it all the way down to below the image. And a line down this side here. Once you've got that done, in order to make it read a little bit better for when you scan this in, you can go ahead and ink all of this in. So, say for instance, this marks out right here where my logo would be. And then this would be a markation for where my first image is going to go. Kind of run a line down this side. Give yourself some lines across like this, following what you did with the pencil. Okay, this is where my copy is going to ride. And here's where my other image is going to go. Right here, it's a smaller one, much smaller. We don't know what that is. Could be a plant, could be anything. And to complete it, some more lines down along this side, indicating that there's going to be copy here. We don't know what that's going to be exactly yet, but you've got the copy. You just have to figure out what part of the copy that's going to be. And then say, for instance, well, maybe you want to put some information down here, like telephone number and address for the organization and that kind of stuff. So you can see really quickly how you can make up a pretty decent looking brochure mock-up. And you're going to want to complete this on the inside and the back leaf inside. All right, so that's how you do your trifold brochure. Now, to do the stationery, which is a much more broad subject matter, a lot of clear space, because you're going to need to leave space for where you would do typing and or word processing. So, for instance, you might locate your logo on one of your examples up in this upper left-hand corner. And I don't know what that logo looks like. That's your creation. And so you might give yourself a couple of lines here with your title, start in your yard, maybe a rule line underneath that, another rule line running up this side, and perhaps the address of the organization, its phone number, contact person, whatever down here. That may be one example of the stationery. To do another one, you might want to, and I'm saying, do 3 of these, and each time indicate things in a different location. You might want to locate the logo over on this side. And all these are placekeepers, kind of for whatever it is that it's going to be. And maybe you have the address up here small, name of the organization, contact person, or something like that. And in this particular case, you run your copy along this side a bit bigger. The start in your yard, and then another rule line along the bottom down here. And so that might be another example of the way that you might do or handle your stationery. So come up with a couple of different examples of how to do this, a couple, 2 or 3 of them. These are like full-scale mock-up sketches of what you're going to do. And then you can scan those and or take a picture of them with your smartphone and turn those in. That will give you a pretty good idea of how you're going to lay this out when you do this in InDesign. And along with your trifold brochure mock-up, give you a pretty good idea of how you're going to handle that as well. Okay, so that's kind of what I want you to do as far as full-scale mock-ups for the Start in Your Yard stationery and trifold brochure. You will also have to come up with 3 examples of a logo. Okay, all for now, and I will see you guys in the next video.